This is, you can tell that's a little taller. It's not just stuff that, that's going on, and I'm just saying it ain't no big deal. And it's a 5-star beaver too, not the poor beaver had that's what they used to make hats out of. Anyway, I looked at it like this is getting Negroes killed, right? So this is 1 year later, right here. This is a disguise. I mentioned this before. This is a disguise. It's a disguise. It's a sharp disguise. But you will drop their attention level if you, and that's who I want you to contact. You know the guy Emery? Right. If you could find, he might still be in Oakland. I don't know where just some kind of way. And I want to find out if he have any pictures of Big Hank. He lived in East Oakland too. He had to know me. I don't know him. You know what I mean? But their office, if I showed you old, but I'm losing pictures. Like all the pictures and outfits with black on, that stuff done disappeared a long time ago. I got lucky and did one of these, and this stuff don't make a whole lot of difference. But here's the point. What is the goal? The goal is to saturate our young people with a true history of what's been going on. Remember we had the thing on Hubert Harrison? And what was Hubert Harrison's problem? He was too black. Right? He was too black, and his message, it would be us in the 20s. If we were in the 20s, right? That's what we would be. Giving out the message, but if it was socialism, it would be socialism with a totally black leaning to the problems that black people have. And when you read about him, you could tell that that's the reason he was shunned. By who? Everybody. Hey, man, and he was with Garvey. They're both from the islands. But pretty soon, he was technically shunned by everyone. Okay, when you look around now, just looking at pictures, there's no Negro in town that's got pictures with all the white folks, dancing and carrying on, because none of the black, if they were slick, what do they want to be around white people for? If they was black, our cultures didn't mix. But there's somebody that had enough intuition to know that one of my favorite songs, it didn't sound that good, but it was a favorite song. If you go to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. That was indicative of where they was coming from. That's why for them, revolution is dancing and having no clothes on. That was their revolution. Because their fathers was all working in the government and was killing everybody, and they knew it. They said, I don't want to do that. I quit. And you talking about some mad white folks? Hey, they'll kill their own children. Some of them will rescue their children and protect them from the. But there's enough of them monsters from those days to knock their own children. You're gonna be with them niggas and all this other stuff too. We ain't gonna do that. You could see if they have the key there, if they have. So anyway. All right. So anyway, this is right. This is what was going on. Okay, so now what we have to do is educate the people. We'll start with the young. You know what I mean? We'll start with the young, and we'll get with them. We'll make talks and what have you, and we'll make sense out of this. See, nobody's making sense for the last 40, 50, 60 years. They might know nothing have happened since Dr. King, right? But they don't know why. They're looking right at the stuff, but they don't know. Even a lot of the young kids got these old videos of a Superfly, the Mac, right? Did you see them?
I had friends.
Yeah.
I had friends like that I grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah, they were acculturated with that stuff. Okay, we have to educate the people on what that was. You see what I mean?
Right, yeah.
We were there, and we believe it was technically, about us. But we actually know it was. We know it was. And the people, when you tell everybody, oh, yeah, that's what that was about. Because, just to be brief, Superfly himself, he got away with $150,000, and he wanted to stop doing what he was doing. And his partner didn't, And so when he was getting ready to make his moves, his partners had turned him, went to boss man and told him. But his old connection, Scatter, whatever his name was, they hooked up. He gave Superfly all of the information of what was going on before. So they assassinated his old connection, Scatter, because he said, boy, you want to get that big, you know what I mean? You getting up into an area. I was talking about Superfly when he's asking Scatter, his regular connection, to hook him up big time. He wanted 25 keys. So Scatter was mad, walking around the restaurant at the cooking place. Finally, he said, I'll do it. But he was trying to tell him, you don't know what you're getting into. So when he hooked him up and he got good size, then the police intersected him. So it was clear all the cocaine that they captured or what have you, that's big money in New York. So, long story short, he wants to be a good guy. And he got all the information on all of them. So, he finally has it out with them. They kill Scatter, OD him in a Rolls Royce of all things, And then Superfly leaves. And there was a certain amount of money involved. And Superfly escaped with his woman and $150,000. Okay, so when all the news come out, everybody realized that Big Hank got away too. And he had $150,000. But the movie came out after he left, not before. So somebody was monitoring who, and what would Gordon Parks know anything about? He was a cameraman. What would he know about that lifestyle? To write a whole script, right? What do you mean? You got that much insight into the game, right? That you make a blockbuster movie. That's insanity. That's insanity. But anyway, that whole series of movies was technically about one person. They made a mistake on Superfly TNT. Ain't nothing to it. That's what it's supposed to mean.
Is that right?
Ain't nothing to it. Yeah, Superfly TNT. It's a little corny. It's colored too. It's very. Ain't nothing to it. Yeah, that's what it means. That's what it means. But look at number two. Number two, he's in Africa, and everybody here is seeing. It even looked like they put the light on it, so the things are lighter and brighter. You know what I mean? And it's like what we felt when we went back to Africa.
That's exactly what they did. He was leaving darkness into light. That's what he did.
Look at here. Now the other thing is, when I was in Tanzania, have you ever heard Ahmed Babu? Ahmed? Yeah, that's his name. Ahmed Babu. With Malcolm in his thing called, This is a Revolutionary. All right. Now all the black people would refer to Babu. Kofi Bashar I was living with him for a while in Tanzania. In Algeria. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had got put out. And when in Africa, when the crew you with gets put out, everybody got to go. They don't save over nobody. In fact, you might have to run out. So Nkrumah was in, he might have been in Egypt because his wife was from Egypt. Nkrumah's, and you notice his kids is yellowish like Kwame Nkrumah. He married an Arab woman. Yeah, the kids speak Arabic too. The kid is 70, 80 years old now. But he married an Egyptian woman. Because remember at that time, Egypt would educate different people. So he married an Egyptian woman. She was a nice lady. And so a lot of the people, when they would get heat, they would go back to Egypt, although Nasser was strong on nationalism but not no Islam. So Nkrumah and them didn't have nothing to do with no Islam hardly. Okay. Watch out though for Ghana. Ghana's got Negroes moving back by the zillions. They're in trouble. It's sad. Oh boy, I'm telling you, it's sad. Even people that was here. Muhafiz is over there now. Because his wife went from the islands. Gambia? They're not in Ghana. Oh, good, great. They can't do too much harm in Gambia. Somebody told me they was in Ghana. I'm glad it's Gambia. Very glad. Okay, let me continue the story. So the trend goes like this. When I went to Black Africa, Kofi Bashar, last I heard he was in Long Beach because I gave a talk at, my family go to the biggest church in Oakland. So when there's someone dies in the family, I usually give a little talk too along. It's a Christian church, but everybody knows that I usually give a little talk. So when my brother-in-law passed, I mentioned some song from Mahalia Jackson's time, and there was a guy in the audience. He was one of the assistant preachers. He was from Ghana. And I said, well, when I used to go to Africa and different things, so when the funeral was over, that part, he said, what part of Africa? I said, Algeria. He said, I said, where you from? He said, I'm from Ghana. I said, oh, you know, one of my friends I used to live with, his name was Kofi Bashar. He said, you know him? I said, yeah. I seen him, I not only lived with him in Algeria, he came to Tanzania and lived there. And he said, well, right now he's in Long Beach, in California. He's a little ill. And he's from that generation that graduated in 1956 from University of Massachusetts, something like that. So anyway, he was a press secretary for Kwame Nkrumah. And so through these strange type of contacts, I'm assuming that he's passed away now, because that was, it's been 12 years since my brother-in-law passed away. 2007, what is, this 2007, 2017, it's 10 years, plus 4. Goodness gracious alive. I'm sure he's passed away by now. But anyway, the point